we're going to do it. Can you hear me this way? Does this work? Or is this better?
That's better.
Well, good evening. Thank you for being here this evening. When we do these productions, I'll use that word, I think we've had as few of probably 20 or 25 and as many as 60 or so. And so we're kind of in between tonight. The format that we use for the town halls is that typically I'll make a few comments and then we'll start with the directors. And the directors each will have a pitch, if you will, probably something in the range of, 5 to 6 minutes. Some of my staff have a harder time keeping track of what 5 or 6 minutes means. So if you see me walking up on stage after they've started, they have the message that it's time to end regardless of where they're at. We'll move it along as quickly as we can. Tonight, it's really fun to have the town hall here at the Senior Center. We wanted to do that because, and some of you probably know, the Senior Center folks have undertaken a real effort to try and bring us a new building on this site. And it would not only be just for seniors, but it would also become a community center. They've done an enormous amount of work trying to organize it, come up with concepts. They have a high energy group that's working on the whole project. And I wanted tonight to give the Senior Center an opportunity to kind of pitch what they are working on. And I think most of you know Farrell Fleming. He is the CEO of the Senior Center, and I'll time him too, just like I do my directors. But he gets a little more time. And we will take any questions you have after his presentation. Anyway, Farrell Fleming.
Thanks very much for coming. We welcome you to the Edmonds Senior Center, formerly the South County Senior Center. And we're going to start with a little bit of a video. We usually use the video at the end, but sometimes the talk goes so long we never get to it. So I thought, well, let's start with a video, and then we'll go to the PowerPoint. Campaign director Daniel Johnson has he calls it a quadcopter. He doesn't want to use the word drone, but it takes really quite extraordinary pictures, and the opening sequence is from that device.
Can we turn off the front lights?
Yeah, we could, sure.
Tell me what to do.
Some of those.
What do you want?
Turn the front ones off. It's good.
This video appears to be reluctant, so we will.
It's hard to see.
It's been a day of strange technology at the center, and why we really do need a new building with all sorts of things built in. So I'll start while Michelle is doing this, and we'll just bring the slide. One last try, Michelle?
Yes.
There's a nice set of music, but maybe we'll just let it go, Michelle. Try one last time.
There we go. I'll go with Chucky.
Are we in the right thing?
Throw it in.
Anyway, there's a nice tune here, but we'll have to just play it. These are shots from Daniel calls it a quadcopter, along from the ed tide along the senior center. These things take remarkable pictures. They're remarkably stable for photography. And it's this area here that you'll see that we're hoping to remove, actually, as part of this project. And I think the rest of it, without the music, will be a little strange. So why don't we get to the other one? So let's say a couple things. The Senior Center, what we are is a 501c3 nonprofit. We were founded, so we have that next one. This is really our vision. We'd really like to build a remarkable building here with remarkable grounds that would really, in our terms, really maximize the full potential of participants of every age. It's the seniors that really want to open this. I need to go over there for the, how far, this is good?
That's much better.
I need to stay here, right? Okay. So that's good. Really three basic goals. One is the building itself, and that's what we're engaged in the $11 million capital campaign. Secondly, really to do, the point of the building is to do something extraordinary inside the building. So a whole set of programs, and with a particular emphasis on health and wellness, and then to do something unusual and really good for the waterfront. As I say, it's a really unique moment, and it's a unique time, and as I say, we've got an opportunity to do something quite extraordinary. But a touch of history. The City Senior Center, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, dates really right from the beginning when we were incorporated. The City Parks and Rec Director was then, Harv Harrison was the mayor. He's still around, and we talk to Harv frequently. So really right from the beginning. The center gets recognized as a national model in 1971 because it is really a genuine multi-purpose senior center and one of the very first in the country. 1973, the city acquires the property. The senior center arranged for a $300,000 HUD grant. The city does a 25% local match and comes to own the property, and that's the buildings. There are two buildings then and the land. 1980, construction to build it like this. One of the possibilities was to leave this two-story building, but to actually tear the rest of the building down and build a two-story building roughly on the same footprint. There was a structural study done, partially funded by the city, partially by us. We did 50-50. And it just became apparent to bring this up to snuff, and it would still have all of its issues, except that at least the floor would be level, and if an earthquake came, it wouldn't fall down. Just way cost prohibitive. It's either this or something new. The big governance hall in 2008, really empowering the membership. I highlighted 2013 because this is really the key. Some people have asked us, well, why are you guys doing this? Or what's your mandate? Or how do you get the right to do this? The reason is the city asked us. The city in its strategic plan really laid out said that one of the things we really need to do is have a good long-term solution for the problems of the senior center. And the city asked us to take the lead on that. So really our response to that request from the city is to really do just what we're doing. In 2014, the first resolution in March of 2014 to demolish the existing building and construct a new center. And in 2015, in January, we basically signed an option to lease agreement, but we've agreed on the terms of a ground lease. So, something about we've got really extraordinary support from the mayor, from the city council, from all the department heads, many of whom are here tonight and many of whom we have worked with. really over the years. It's just been an extraordinary partnership. You are blessed to have the mayor you have, the city council you have, and the staff you have. It's an amazing crew. At present, the city maintains the building, so I just called Jim Stevens today and said, Jim, you know that place in the thrift store that's been leaking all along in our thrift store sorting room has started again, so he'll be down and his crew tomorrow. Part of the partnership is that we provide 90% of our operating budget. So out of the operating budget of approximately $650,000, the city pays 60, we pay the rest. And that's one of the virtues of the partnership. If this city was like most cities, Parks and Rec would be running the senior center, and Renee knows how much it would cost if they ran it. It would be way more than $650, or they would do way less. It would be one of those two choices. The present and the past, the city owns, maintains the building and the park. This is a regional park, this land. Going forward, the idea is that we will raise the funds to build it, we will build it, and then we will own and maintain.
It's really about the same amount of space you have wherever we put angle parking in the city, but not nearly as much space as used to exist behind the angle parking on Sunset. So that made it feel tighter to people. It's had some benefits and some drawbacks. I think the benefit is it slows people down that are driving through there. Of course, some people won't slow down at all, no matter what, but I think most drivers wouldn't be comfortable driving through there more than about, I don't know, 15 to 20 miles an hour, which is usually a speed slow enough to where if somebody does start to back out slowly, you can spot them, you can wait, let them back out and go through. We haven't had any accidents there in the over a year that we've been operating that particular space. There's a lot of other talk about the parallel parking. How much of that do we want, and where would we like to see that on Sunset Avenue? Don't have any answers for you yet. We put it where it worked for the pilot project. The biggest problem is if you have a parallel space across from a driveway, and there's some 22 driveways along Sunset there, some of those have really narrow throats to the driveways. So before it wasn't a problem. You could swing way out and then line up with your driveway and pull in. Now if you've got a car parked there and you've already chopped 10 feet off the street, you have to kind of turn in, and it's too sharp to get in, too sharp to get out. So we only put the parking where it would match up with the driveways. If we actually had a project that wasn't a pilot project, you'd have money, you could go in and fix those driveway throws, and you'd have better access to the driveways, you wouldn't have as big of an interference with the parking, you could add more parking. Or you could put in less parking. The survey has a question that takes it all the way from, would you like no parking on Sunset? Do you want more parking on Sunset? Do you think it's about right where it is? I think that's going to be one of the major questions that needs to be answered.
Other questions? Yep, Gail.
So I noticed that the EDC, Economic Development Commission, was going to, whether it's going to continue on for next year or not. Have any information on that?
I think the only information we can give you is that we've had a council committee kind of looking at the whole thing. They've developed some potential answers. Some are somewhat different than what is currently there. It'll be in front of the council. I don't remember if it's next week or the week after. And they'll have a discussion there. I know what my personal opinion is, and I'm not going to give it to you. Because it's really a council decision. But I'll just tell you that the Economic Development Group has done a terrific job over the years that it's been organized. Any other questions? Well, I want to, just thank all of you for coming this evening. My view of the city of Edmonds has always been high. I've lived here for a long time. But with the sort of progress we've made in the last few years, I'm really excited about the future of this town. We have some economic issues that other cities like Linwood don't have. We don't have any big box stores. We don't have a Costco or a Target, or we don't have any shopping malls. So how can we creatively generate the kind of revenue that maintains long-term the quality of life that I believe the citizens of Edmonds want and expect and are satisfied with? So that would be long-term, an issue that we're just simply going to have to continue to talk about and as long as I'm in office, I'm glad to keep talking about it, because we've got to balance the budget every year. And we've had a great year this year in economic growth. I think it will continue through next year. But after that, we need to start thinking about other creative ways that we can generate more revenue. Thank you so much for coming this evening, and we'll hope you'll make it to the next one, whenever it is. We don't know yet. Anyway, good night. Thanks very much.
Okay.